Hello, 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 and welcome to GQUAT Traditions, the Garden Quilt and Art Show. Maria Graham, I see you. Do you see me and hear me? Because, child, I was watching YouTube in the bushes, and the next thing I know, I woke up and it was like 20 minutes ago. I had everything set up. So I went, I will give the others a chance to come in. So I turn this off. And Rudy, Irahita, welcome. Matthew Whittington, welcome. And happy Saturday. Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to put this up so I can see you guys. Okay. I've been watching other people. I am now using Restream and seeing others switching over to them and going through the growing pains and then learning to walk and talk again is I'm smiling because you wonder, you think you're doing the right thing, but you don't know if you are. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the GQUAT Garden Quilt and Art Show. GQUAT Traditions. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. So, my phone is letting me know that it heard a sound. Yep, the sound that my system heard, camera system heard, was me, Tamika Davis. Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. Kelly, I bring it every day. You are the busiest person. I've been watching you doing this, that on other shows. You are just doing the daggone thing. Maybe if I put this way, it won't look like I'm looking down in my lap all the time. When I do the restream and the replay to see how I'm doing, I I'm looking at different things on here. I say, well, why did I do that? Why did I say that? That's not what I meant. Hey, Sissy Joanne Stevens, thank you for coming. Welcome. Yankee Sister Olmsted, Hermana. I hope you're feeling better. Maria Graham, I hope you are feeling better. Prayers out for you three that I know have had recent surgery, and also to Dolores, who I contacted. I texted earlier and she's not feeling well. So, you guys, please pray for her as well. Anybody who is not feeling well, anybody in the whole world. So, how y'all doing? How are you all doing? Did I say hi to Mika Davis? If there's anybody I ever miss, charge it to my eyes and not to my heart because I try to say hello to everyone, everyone, everyone. I am trying to figure out how to see today's chat in on my phone. Give me 1 minute, you guys. Garden Quilt and Art Show. I don't want that one. Live. Oh, here we go. La 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 la. You're having a good day, Auntie Shay Shay. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'd like to say that I appreciate each and every one of you. Those of you who are here for the replay, those of you who are in the bushes, of course, the moderators and members, subscribers, any way you support the channel. As a matter of fact, I want to thank you guys because I am monetized. So when the commercials come on, not just for me, But for any of the channels that you visit, please watch them because every little bit helps and it adds to the algorithm, and which means that they show my live stream, my video, whatever, to more people, and more people get to benefit and learn the things that I try to share. Janet, almost homesteading with you. No, didn't go to the post office. I didn't have any help this week, so I had to do everything myself, running behind. And my post office is in an older part of Connecticut, which is a very old state. And the post office, excuse me, I did just use my asthma inhaler, so my lungs are probably clearing up. My allergies are so bad. I've got post-nasal drip and everything else. The post office in this area is terrible. It's small. You have to go up like 4 steps. Then there's a platform, then up like 4 or 5 more. Then there's another platform. Then there's a double door to get in. And yes, they do have a handicap ramp that starts on, you know how you see the houses and they're like 4 or 5 steps and their handicap ramp just goes around and around and around. Darth X, hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Excuse me, you guys. Sorry I have to keep doing that. I have to clear my lungs, clear the cobwebs out of my head, out of my lungs. My granddaughter told me she saw me a couple weeks ago and my hair was hanging down and my eyes are across my face. That's not how I intended it. It did what it do by its own self. So, how many of you put a 1 in the chat? How many of you are still working in the garden, planting for next year, still watering? Where are you? What area of the country or what grow zone? And just what's going on in your life as far as gardening. I'm going to cover the G, the Q, the U, the A, and the T, which is the format that I try to use. Why? Because I try to encourage you guys to do what you love and love what you do. So I had to mute for a second. No, 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 no. You're being fresh, Hershey. And Juanita Campbell just came in. She's saying, hello, everyone. Juanita, are you using that bag that you won here on GQUAT Traditions? Coming up, last night I caught the Gina versus Gina show. And for those of you who are on some of the gardening channels, some of the 2A channels, Yankee Sister planted her garlic today. I didn't get mine yet. I usually grow so much garlic, so much ginger, and usually my ginger is still out there. It is so warm in Connecticut, you guys, and we have not had any rain. The state is in a virtual drought, and when you look at the TV channels, it's all red for fire alerts. Good for you, Yankee Sister. Good for you. I won't be begging you for none of your garlic. I'll get it done. I will get it done. Almost homesteading with Janet. So she brought her peppers in so they can keep growing inside. If I had Auntie Joanna saying, hello, Mr. Hershey. He heard me say your name, Auntie J. That's what the kids call her. They call Joanne Stevens Auntie J. So, and I say kids, they're not kids. My kids are adults, way adults. We're not mentioning any ages, but speaking of which, November is next Monday, you guys. Can you believe that? Maria Graham says her garden is finished and now she's not having a winter garden. Me either. I still have a couple things to harvest. There's some spearmint out there that needs to be harvested. There are a few potatoes. Hmm. There's still more peppers. A lot more peppers. I'm just going to do like Hands in the Dirt says, leave the kids out there in the cold in the wintertime and let them fend for themselves. Yeah, I'm not going to, because what I want to do is the WIG Grow Off. It's the Winter Indoor Gardening Challenge. I think there will be another herb challenge. Herbs are what I grow every year because I have a shady garden, and most herbs love. Some can tolerate a lot of sun, but most love a little bit of shade in the afternoon. Like ginger, it loves a little bit of shade in the afternoon. Oh, and I grow a lot of Herbs. Yankee Sister, your coleus is still out there. I'm just going to see if it overwinters. I have beautiful, huge red geraniums in my garden. Thanks to Yankee Sister, she bought me starts over. And don't think I was playing her or using her. We live not too far from each other. Mike's Chaotic Gardening is saying hi. I just sort of kind of mentioned him when I was talking about the WIG Grow Off because he and GT Jr. looks like I'm all sloppy slouching. He and GT Jr. are the hosts of that challenge. So everybody likes challenges. In January, I said I was going to do the Frugal Budget Challenge, but I saw a challenge that I was not aware of before. Growing with Hudson announced it, and she was talking about a $5 challenge where you save your $5. So I don't know if I have $5, but I pledged to at least save $5 a week times 52 weeks of the year in cash. I'll take it out of the budget. I would pledge to, maybe instead of going on a frugal budget, spending $30 for 30 days, it's what I believe Snap has, the lowest possible payout that they have, and working on how to make a budget out of that. I can live on anything. I can live from the pantry, which is what I think I will do. Hello, Kanta Bon Jovid Bahai. Hello, my friend. And thank you for your messages. I have seen them and I try to respond to most of them. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Mike's Chaotic Gardening was just outside with his squirrels, lost track of time. I was in bed with my TV on the opposite wall and woke up in the bushes watching 755 Media paint. She was painting a big pumpkin, the big pumpkin today. So, Donzel Cooper, thank you and welcome, welcome, welcome. So, we talked about the gardening. How many of you are canning? Are canning? I'll tell you how I preserved my garlic when I brought it in last year. I had tons of it. I had tons of ginger. I have some videos on making ginger turmeric shots. Ginger and turmeric. I ferment. For those of you who are not familiar to the channel, or this is your first time, this channel is a variety channel, and I am the primary spokesperson. I've been alive for 8 generations, and my family still has 6 living generations. I'm the second eldest in my branch, and in fact, in 2 weeks, I will be 76 years old. I'm not ashamed to tell my age. I think it's a blessing that I've been here this long, and I don't look like what I've been through. I've been through some stuff, y'all, good and bad. I have lived in big cities. I have lived in small cities. I have lived off grid. I have purchased raw land and lived on it. Maria Graham said she will be canning soon. Our church at home, Nancy, been watching you guys too. Nancy does a lot of crafting and she's working on some sewing. I have a lot of things to show you guys tonight that I have been working on. We'll be working Nikki, the everyday life of Inso OC. D is Chuck, young and tender. You better bet. Young and tender. So, Nick, the first time I went live, I'm coming up on my second anniversary of going live. I had a channel. Actually, I did a YouTube video about 10 years ago. I didn't even know what YouTube was. But and Yankee Sister said she still has green beans to can in the freezer. I have peppers to can, and I'm going to use some of the brine from your cowboy candy to make cowboy candy because I have tons of peppers in the freezer, habaneros, you name spicy peppers. Some of the peppers I can't even say by heart. The seeds I got from Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Big Jim fish peppers, cayenne peppers, serranos. Did I have any? All kinds of peppers, all kinds. So going back to explaining about me to people who are new or don't get in here often, and even some of the family members who may not be as familiar. I cook from scratch. Growing up, we cooked from scratch every single night. Every single night. Thank you for the time, Rudy Irahita. I still cook from scratch when I cook. I don't know, like all the recalls, the fast food chains. I don't remember the last time I went to a fast food restaurant. I have been to like a sit down restaurant on a few fancy occasions, like Mother's Day or my mom's birthday. She likes, and shout out to them, Outback Steakhouse, and she likes a good steak. Or there's a nice steakhouse near her house, a vintage steakhouse, one of the top steakhouses in Connecticut. And I like a good steak, but I have swallowing difficulties and I have difficulty eating like hunks of red meat. So I don't eat very much meat, whether it's fish, protein, pescatarian dishes. I do like lobster now and then, shrimp, salmon, those types of things. Maria Graham says, hello, mother, Mom Pankey. I'm not sure if they took her big denim quilt out of the box yet or if they're waiting for me to get there. So I'm reading the chat, and trying to. Oh, for those of you who have content on your channel, Rudy, a couple of you guys that I don't see that often, if you put exclamation mark GQUAT, if somebody could put that in the chat for me, exclamation mark GQUAT, it will put your channel up and we can follow each other and keep track. So let's say I talked about the gardening, the cooking from scratch. And you guys, I am a really good cook, but I don't come on here to, excuse me, to compete with anyone. Everybody has their own style of doing things. As a matter of fact, I had a question this week. It wasn't regarding cooking. It was about sewing and what color thread to use. Well, I've been gardening for over 70 years. We've always had a garden. Daddy would always plant, and my sister Joanne Stevens will tell you, I always loved marigolds growing up. I thought marigolds were perennials, meaning they come up automatically because they would just keep reseeding themselves. Hey, Tracy, passionately intrigued arts and more. So the question came up about thread color. Well, thread color, and I'll tell you, I have been a quilt show judge. I have been on the board of directors of several quilting guilds, north and south in the country. And that's a very individual thing. You know, like, do you put sugar in your grits? Do you put sugar in your cornbread or your greens? There are like the quilting police. They say to do this, that, and the third for the quilts that are submitted to be judged. I say it depends on your skill level, the purpose of your quilt, and who you're making it for. If you're sending it to the Smithsonian Museum of Art, are you going to take a little extra care for it? Yes. But going back to thread color, my embroidery machine happens to be a baby lock Flourish 2, and it runs very similarly. Yankee Assistant saying, "Hello, mother." She can see she can't see the chat, but she can hear. Oh, so Marie Graham Nightbot is saying, check her out. So the baby lock, there are only two colors of bobbin thread that is used in those machines. One is white, one is black. You can use any color you want for I hadn't planned on showing it to you guys, but I will since we're talking about it. And I have a big container of thread that I use when I take my baby lock out to different guild meetings or different things. I will see how I'm going to do this without falling off the chair or getting naked, dropping my clothes off. So I'm going to show you. There's only two types of thread, and it's pre-wound. It's pre-wound. I have all the colors in small spools for when I travel. But there is one thread that goes in the bobbin. I know that you can't see my face. Almost homesteading with Janet said, no canning this far. She's got too much going on. She's doing a lot of selling at the state fair. And the finishing touch bobbin thread, that's what it says on the bottom. And it's polyester. I can't really see if this is one of them. And I have small things of thread that I take to everywhere. And when you do if those who have embroidery machines, you can program your machine so it doesn't just say the number of the color of the thread you put in. It says the name of the thread. So here's a bag of different threads. I'll usually just take like 5 or 6 out, depending on what I'm working on. This is one of the most expensive threads, Isodur. I don't buy that anymore. I buy it from a company called Filtech. And oh, I see. You see, I put this little writing on it so that I can see what kind of thread it is. And these are just the small spools. You never grew enough to can anything? Well, you know what? You can can one jar. You don't have to have a canner. You can use any pot that you have that's deep enough that you can put enough water in it. Hey, sis, uh, Sister Shirley, OG Gardener. So I think this, yes, this is the black. I don't know if you can see, and it looks like the writing is back to. This is the black bobbin thread, the finishing thread. So there's only white or black that goes in the bobbin, and you can you can wind it yourself. I don't wind it myself because I have a small slow speed bobbin winder. Who did I just see? Tori's Brain. Thanks for coming and welcome. I enjoyed you all on the replay last night, and the red carpet and the limousine drive for the winners. So I used to have a high speed bobbin winder. I have a low speed one. So I usually wind trays of bobbins at a time for my sewing machines. Some of the sewing machines take different kinds of bobbins. I usually have a tray for each kind of bobbin because why? I'm too impatient. I don't want to have to keep unthreading the machine every time I do something. And when I'm sewing a lot, I can use 2 or 3 bobbins in one day. In one day. Tori's Brain is speaking to everyone. And I'm glad to see some of you guys in here because I want to show you some things that y'all can make. Now, is anybody making things with their hands for Christmas? You know, I'll tell you guys something funny. Up on one of these shelves, I have some cooking books, and I also have labels for food. When I told my mother that I was making cookies or canning, you know what Mother Pankey told me? She said, well, if you're giving canning out for gifts, hello, eyeballs. Said Maria is here by. Uh-oh, is that some kooky person? I don't know, but you guys can handle it if it is. So my mother said when my mother used to give out gifts of jelly and whatnot, she would put a piece of cloth around it and a ribbon and make it look pretty with the label. So mommy told me if I'm going to make it and give it to you guys, that's what I have to do. I thought that's so cute. She always has all these helpful ideas, and she's the one who taught me to can. And like I said, I've been canning and cooking over 70 years. I couldn't even reach the sink when I was little. We had a little stool and climbed up on it. Everybody had chores to do. Everybody had chores to do. When you came home from school, you didn't get on any devices. We had a TV, a big color TV, a TV, but we weren't allowed to watch it until the weekend. When we came home from school, and I was on different what do you call different teams, whether it was gymnastics, the tumbling team. My brother said he talked to some people from Stamford, Connecticut. Miss Shirley's saying, hello, Mama Pankey. And Marie Graham saying, thank you both for wishing her well. And, or maybe she's talking about Maria's upcoming something, but she's having a procedure on Tuesday. So let's pray for her. Let's pray for everybody who needs prayer for whatever reason. For whatever reason. So going back to coming up and our family traditions, everybody did everything. Daddy worked in a plant at night as a maintenance man. He had his own painting and trucking business during the day, and he did gardening. He was a master gardener, not in the terms of designations or something that some university gave you, but he grew up, his family, they made a living by farming. He could tell the way the leaves turn inside out on a tree if it was going to rain or not. We used to get the big things of manure, truckloads. We're talking dump load, dump truck loads. We didn't have the garden in back of the house. We had thousands and thousands of flowers and plants. Daddy rented a house down the street at the house that my mother still lives in. But even when we were real young, when they first got married and lived in an apartment outside of like the townhouse style apartments, outside where there's a little tract of land by ours, he would plant a rose bush and some flowers. We would have a tomato plant. Mommy always had mint growing that we used to put in our tea in the summer, along with some mint and orange juice. Try that in your tea. Oh, yeah, don't forget to push the thumbs up. And if you like the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. Gina, it was nice kicking it with you on the phone today. I see I missed a call back, but I was running around trying to get things ready. Tori, they want to know, how's that brain of yours doing? Tori's brain game comes on Friday nights. Gina was on last night, and those elves will be doing a Christmas giveaway, which brings me to the next thing. They purchased from me a handmade gift that was given away in one of the 12 days of Christmas, and it was so funny. And it was a hobo bag. But I just wanted to tell you about hobo bags. There are male hobo bags. No, they're not Merces. And there's the hobo bag is for any hobo, male, female, or anything else. Whatever you want to call yourself, whatever you want to do with it, the hobo bag is for everyone. Speaking of which, because I make all of the gifts for my family, which is what I stay so busy doing. Birthdays, Christmas, I don't buy them anything. They all work. They save their money and they buy things. And we were taught to work and save and get the things you need. Sometimes, if you need help, there are family members available to help you if you need it. But I wanted to show you this little hobo bag. Big Rooster actually has one exactly this same size. It's extremely heavy duty. Extremely heavy duty. It has a tie. He could actually carry his bowling ball, his new bowling ball in his. It has a reinforced heavy bottom. This has that double plastic the needlepoint plastic inside here. It has, I left this one open so that you could see it. It has batting over top of that. And I made this lining look like sort of like a pillowcase so that Val creates. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Val does beading, you guys, a lot, and making jewelry making, as does PIA, just to talk about some of the skills you all do. And I will be doing some beading. That's one of the things I do. But it's like I'm so busy running around in circles, chasing my tail like Mr. Hershey or somebody. Don't you dare go to that door and start barking at somebody in the hall. So this I wanted to show you is a heavy duty bag. It's sewn. Can you see how thick this is? Can you see how many thick this is? It is. And I sew it with my heavy duty machine. All of the reinforcements in the corners. This is a heavy duty bag. The only thing, Big Rooster's bag doesn't have camo on it. He has Pittsburgh Steelers on his bag. But I wanted to show you some of the things that you still have plenty of time. Val makes beautiful earrings. Yes, she does. And bracelets and necklaces. I love her work. So since we're talking about bags, I will stay on bags. You guys know that I make the neck support pillows. All of these are going out. Some of you are new, so I will show them to you. There are a bunch. Can you see over by the other table computer? All those are pillows. Try not to turn you guys too fast. Excuse me for throwing throwing that bag I just had on the sofa over there. All those pillows, neck bone pillows, 2, 4, 6 are ready to go out for Christmas. And I start year round for all the family birthdays, all of those things. I'll get back to bags in a minute, but I wanted to show you some of the simpler things that you guys can make. When I say you guys, Deborah Garrett, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming and welcome. This is, I guess I took the pen out. I make journal covers. This is usually when school starts, I take the composition books, and they come in all colors now. Deborah Garrett's Driving and Listening. And I like the ones with the wide spaces for writing. I belong to a couple writing clubs, and we sit and we write longhand, and they said that's good for the brain, that's good for the brain, especially as you get older. So this is one I made, and there's a type of stitching called yashiko. It's a Japanese form of stitching, and I put my name on this one. All of my journal covers have a pen pocket. This is the pen pocket. This one is white leather, but this was one. I think this one was my very first one years ago. And of course, you can take the journal out. Oh, this one has an actual red leather placeholder. This one is real red leather. And you see, it was just a scrap of leather that I sewed on. If you get a heavy duty machine, especially those old vintage ones, you can sew through anything. All of my journal covers, I put a pen pocket on. Here's another journal cover. I have different journals for different things. This one, I guess, was an everyday journal. I'm glad I looked in this one because there's something for some insurance information. And at the end of the year, if you're a senior, you can change the providers that you have. And I was going to look into something for one of the family members. And this is the book that I keep that type of information in it. And I always keep a smooth writing gel pen in it, don't I, Nikki? So this one also has a real leather pocket. It has the page holder, and this one is fabric. This one is a journal cover. My Renaissance grandma, hey sis, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I used whatever I had. So this little piece of pure leather I put in there, but it still holds the pen. And let's see, it also has a cloth page holder. And this one is for my research on the Pankey family tree. And they're saying hello to MRG, my Renaissance grandma. And this is a journal cover, just to give you guys some ideas. It was the only piece I have. It looked like gardening and flowers, so I just love that. This one has a real leather pen pocket and a nice gel pen. And my sister Joanne bought me some pieces of leather, and I just cut little squares out of it. Or I have cut up from the secondhand store. I have cut up old jackets that I found, hoods from jackets that I actually wore. Oh, this was some of the merch that I plan to sell on GQUAT Traditions. Miss Patty, Patty's Kitchen and Garden, and more. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I try to encourage, and I write things down in the middle of the night. not only do I have these journals, I like this size of index cards. And here I was writing down a quick little bio for a show that I was on here in New Haven, downtown on the Green. I was one of the speakers that day, and it was some of the things I wanted to be able to tell people on my elevator speech so I wouldn't forget it. It was my reinvention bio, and it says I was a retired management consultant who has literally come back to life as a fiber artist, storyteller, a generational gardener, scratch cook, heritage and traditional and fine artist. And my YouTube channel, I did get started, was GQUAT Traditions. So, but what I like about this size card, you know how you get the plastic sheets that you put notebook paper in, or printer paper rather? Two of these will fit inside one page. And if I want to keep this for a longer term, I can keep them. So I keep those in the back of here in case there's something that I want to do. I'm going somewhere as a speaker. I want to do a presentation. I want to remember to tell you guys something. So I keep those. And I usually date them and keep them. I have stacks of them. Stacks of them going around. Why? Because I'm OCD-ish. So, and I want to tell you, I'm making one for Christmas in addition, because I've got plenty of time, this piece of batik. And I have already cut the batting to go inside. It's doubled over, it's cotton. So this will be a journal cover. I will add the pen pocket and the page holder. Sometimes if I'm selling one, I'll put your initials on there for you. So we're talking about handmade goodies, and I want to show you some of the things I do. You know, I talk about challenges and doing a little bit every day. Some people say an hour a day. I say 15 minutes. Why? Because so many of y'all still work. Me, I don't do anything that's considered work. I am retired, even though Denzel Cooper likes the journal covers. Thank you. So I do a little bit of something. There were times like earlier this year, I know Miss Shirley has a knee replacement coming up. Blessing says, I've had 2 knee replacements and a hip replacement and some other surgery since I moved to this apartment. It's a handicap apartment, and it's really well equipped. For those of you who don't know, my bathroom is really big. The kitchen is big enough that if I had one of those big street worthy wheelchairs, I could take it, I guess, ride it down the street, get on the bus, come back. I don't do all that, but I could if I wanted to. And you can turn around anywhere in here. The doors, like the bedroom doors, are wide as most doors, front doors, so that you don't hit your elbows if you do at some point need a chair. So why was I saying that? Because I couldn't walk Mr. Hershey at the park next door. Miss Patty saying face red heart shape. Thank you, Miss Patty. I couldn't walk Mr. Hershey, and I had a dog walker, and he would walk Mr. Hershey every day, like 20 minutes to half an hour. So when I would painfully walk out here in this section, it's like a kitchen, living room, dining area, and I have a separate like 8 by 12, 10 by 12 room that is a dedicated studio / craft area, but I don't sit in there. I sit in another space outside there, and I just use my whole place to create. And my whole place, Miss Shirley, is my museum and studio, except I have a kitchen. I can cook, I can. I can preserve the gardening that I have. I do have a steam canner, but going back to Darth X, you can use any pot that's deep enough that you can put a jar in it and let it be covered with water. You're a guy and you need a bigger bathroom. It's like turning around in a closet. My bathroom is big. It even has a dresser in there. It has a walk-in shower. There's another, when I moved here, it had the type of sink that if you were in a wheelchair, you could ride under it. I had it refitted, the kitchen sink as well. And the stove, if you were like wheelchair bound, it was, it was, I made it to accommodate me. You know, I changed everything because I don't plan on ever going to a nursing home unless it's for something short term. Barb Brownlee, thank you for coming and welcome. I saw you tearing up the place on Tori last night on the replay. So when Mr. Bill would come and get Hershey, I would do something for 15 minutes. Sometimes it would be sewing, sometimes it would be cutting, sometimes it would be ironing. Antonio, THAP42, welcome and thank you for coming. So one of the things I've done, all this, you guys, these are bindings already sewn together, already cut up, already folded. I'm not taking them out the bag because I don't want to get them all messed up and have to re-iron them. And there are all different colors in this bag because I have so many things started that I need to finish, and I do finish a lot of things. I showed you guys the other night some pieces of fabric that I cut. Well, I would take different pieces. This is a whole, I'm going to put this down on my lap, okay? Excuse me. Strings all over my lap. And these are 6 inches. Why am I telling you that? Because the ones I had the other night were 6.5 inches. But you see a lot of solid colors in this one. I'll show you why. So because I use so many African fabrics and so many batiks that have such strong colorways, I can actually cut those on a diagonal. And then when they're cut, they fit and match with these that do not have a lot of colors. So these are sort of mix and match. And also in modern quilting, they use a lot of plain fabrics. So now we're getting to where the solid colors, and I would go to the big box stores, and when they have sales, I would get like a yard or whatever you can afford of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, brown, black. There's a certain kind of black that I like called Kona. Like this is a really cute fabric. Oops. We're not re-ironing these, are we? So I'll put these on the bottom so I can keep showing you. Look, this was one with fiery peppers on it. And they're already cut up and ready to go. So the plain ones I made to go with these. This, as you see, is like, it's Halloween fabric. I just liked it because it was orange and black. Yeah, it's Afrocentric fabric. This one's called Dancing in the Rain. Different symbols, purple, all these colors. These are already cut. So if I wanted to make a bag or a quilt, I'm just showing you some of these. I like animal prints. This is like a geometric leopard print. These are the real Ankara wax cotton. By the way, those of you who are familiar with Quilt Africa fabrics, I'm like doing an interview showing you guys these squares. If you were going to buy, they do have different size squares that you can buy, but not 6 inch. not 6.5 inch. They're usually like 5 inch charm squares, but that's okay. That there's nothing problem. You adjust your pattern accordingly. But look at this animal print. Oh, this one I remember fussy cutting. I love this one. I remember where I got this one. Can you see it? It was from a fabric shop in New York, and I fussy cut this. What does fussy cut mean? You take and you put your ruler on a specific area and you cut it out so that it's centered. These are just leaves. I just want to show you some of the fabrics in here. This one is some fabric. This was a 6-yard piece that my daughter, I'm trying to see the chat, you guys, but I see that you're kind of quiet, so you're probably just looking at the fabrics. This one my daughter hand carried from Tanzania years ago. And this is where, you know how you buy African fabric sometimes and it still had that sticker on it? This piece still has a little piece of sticky stuff that I'll have to get out at the point that I decide to use it. But I just wanted to keep them all intact. This, you saw that one. I love this one with the zebras. Why am I showing you these? Because I'm going to show you. Actually, I'll take a break and show you now because I want to show you one of the things. She's just looking and listening. You never heard of Fussy Cut Janet? Hang out with Auntie. Keep living. There's a lot of stuff I found out. So look at this bag, you guys. Look at this. This applique is not done. It's not done with any fancy machine. This is just a piece of fabric. And no, this is not one of my bags. This is a class that I taught, and one of my girlfriends took it in North Carolina, and she decided to put this flap on hers. She has an iron-on adhesive inside here. She hand drew this face. It's part of her logo. And actually, it was her son who digitized the word traditions in the hands for me so that I can use it on my embroidery machine. And then she just drew a picture. She hand cut it out. She put an adhesive on the back, heat and bond, and she put it down and she put the lips on. But the funny thing is, she gave me this bag 10 years ago, and it's like my hair is starting to look now. Maybe she knew this was coming. You're doing your research. Tracy, no research. Just do it. I'm going to show you a rag quilt. There's no research. This is the lady that I taught to make the rag quilt, and she made 53 quilts for her family, for different family members. Just like she made me this bag to thank me for teaching the class, and it was a volunteer class. She had a piece of plexiglass in there, but I took the plexiglass out, and again, this bottom, I want to show you guys. I left it so I could show you guys because she used one of mine. This is just hand sewn. It's the plastic, the needlepoint plastic with some hand stitches. See those? You see those big old stitches? And all the research, you guys, just do it. PIA, come on time, come to school on time, and I will show you. And then this is a little sleeve like the pillowcase class. I'll stick it, well, I'll stick it in this way. And when you're putting it in, I was telling you about the plexiglass. So what she really had in here were something that the fancy members of our quilt guild, and this lady had the the $10,000 single head embroidery machines. She came out one day. I was at her house. I wasn't I wasn't copying all of her embroidery patterns all day. No, I wasn't doing that. She came out with an embroidery hoop, and I wear a good 14, 16, 18 with an embroidery hoop that would fit her whole body. And that's how big her embroidery hoop. It was humongous. So I just wanted to show you that, and I collect buttons. Auntie Joanne gave me a lot of buttons. And this is what you do with the blocks, like I was just showing you. And you see orange is a theme because I like orange. And I just saw a baobab tree somewhere on a block. Oh, here it is. I have some of this fabric. I think I gave her this piece. This is the baobab tree that's millions of years old. PIA said pause. I don't know what I said. It's probably something, something, something. They'll tell me. So I want to show you some more of these squares. Okay. This is why I pre-cut them. These can be used in a quilt. They can be used for a bag. They can be used for anything. And if you don't, I wanted you to see hers with all the mixed up colors put together back to back to back, and it looks beautiful. It doesn't have to be matchy matchy. That one, she just chose a lot of oranges because she knows that's what I like. But let me show you. Now, these are not in the legend quilt, the strip quilt. Why? Because I didn't mix these fabric. I don't mix these fabrics with those old ugly fabrics and junky fabrics that I put in the other quilt. So let me see if you guys can see this. If you don't mind not looking at my face, I'll keep showing you different fabrics that I have pre-cut. You know I love purple, 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 purple. And this is a purple mask. I'll hold these up. This is the zebra. I remember that. That was some expensive fabric. And let me see some that you haven't seen yet. This is, I forgot what the bench from one of the African countries. So this is what you guys do with your 15 minutes. This, and then some might have been, I don't usually buy fat quarters because fat quarters cost money because you're paying for somebody's time to cut them up. I'll buy a yard of fabric and cut it in half. Then the other half I'll make into fat quarters. I mean, yeah, into fat quarters and trade with some of my other friends. PIA said that bag is gorgeous. I have templates of bags. Well, this is her special. This is her special drawing, so I wouldn't share that. But I have pictures of heads that you can trace and draw. You can take anything, any head that you like, and draw a picture of it. So these, look at this, all these colors, you guys. So I have these ready. Like I connected the jeans bag, and what I'm doing is looking through here for fabrics you didn't see because a couple of them are repeats. This is like purple, but it's not exactly fussy cut, but it's not cut in the same place as the other one with the purple mask. This was one of the ones I remember I love. It had like a metallic piece in it. And you see these these blocks have been cut, these particular ones, for over 10 years because I had them in that bag when I moved back here from North Carolina. This one I like because it had animal print. This was like a snake skin. This one was cut in a different place. So you see the pattern here with the oranges. You can put the purples with the oranges. Those were some of my colors. More zebra, more purple, more fans. I'm looking because I wanted to show you some more with the silver in it. See, these would make nice bags. More animal print. This fabric, this fabric was a fabric from South America, and I fell in love with it. I put it on a border of a quilt. Actually, Growing with Hudson owns that quilt now. I'll have to tag her in there so that she can see what this fabric looked like. And but in the quilt that I put it in, this was too fancy. So what I wanted to show you about good boutique fabrics is that, yes, Janet, we had a family place in North Carolina for over 40 something years. That was the raw land off grid property where I had horses and cow, pigs, chickens, ducks, goats, a worm farm. Let's see. So I wanted to show you that. More leaves. This was not any African pattern, but I just like the way the print would go with these. I guess I had another little piece of that. But what I did was when I did the border of the quilt, everything that was left, I cut up and put in this pile. I make the biggest piece that I can. I make the biggest piece when I'm cutting fabric and I buy yardage. So if I have something left, if I can make a 6.5 inch block, why? Because 4 6.5 inch blocks put together, they will make a 12 inch block when counting the seams because you have to cut extra. PIA fussy cut is when you take a piece of fabric and you cut it so that a particular part of the design is shown. So this is a piece that was fussy cut. That's a piece that was fussy cut. I'll stick her back in here. And do you guys want me to continue showing you because I want to show you, okay, I'll continue showing you these squares. Oh, look at this one. Because I just want to share the fabrics with you. I know that a lot of you, Miss Shirley, time to get those fat quarters out. This is a bag that I designed. It's a type of a hobo bag. What I did was take some 2.5 inches of what they call the jelly rolls that I particularly cut. I cut by hand myself, and I took one piece of black fabric, one piece of leopard, and one piece of another fabric because some of these fabrics are in this pile on my lap right now. So what I did was cut out as many 6.5 inch squares as I could. And then after that, if I had pieces that were big enough, I cut out 5 inch blocks. That blue and white one, Janet, isn't it nice? And after the 5 inch, I would cut 2.5 inch. I would cut 2.5 inch long pieces because I cut the whole width of the fabric and then I subcut it. But these straps are made, and I have a piece of foam interfacing inside here or batting so that I could make it puffy. And I made it big enough to go over my shoulder. And it's so funny, and you guys are going to laugh. because I was in North Carolina. This is a class I was teaching, although you can make this in different ways. This bag is made totally out of Afrocentral fabrics. Like she had a lot of orange in hers. I just put neutral colors. Everybody knows I like leopard and cheetah and animal prints. So this bag had some of my stash of these in different colors. And you know what this is inside here? This is clothesline rope that I sewed around each strip. I put a fat quarter strip, which is, I say a fat quarter strip, it's a 2.5 inch strip around a piece of clothesline rope. This button is like gold plated. It was a gift from my sister Joanne. This is actually a very soft leather, like goat skin or something leather. I have a magnetic snap inside. This is just newspaper because when they have wearable art, I consider this wearable art. You see my little label inside, Ellen Pankey. You see my animal print pocket. This is a double pocket on this side, a double pocket on the other side. And on this one, I put that reinforced plastic. I sewed it into the bottom of here and I sewed it. Now, these corners were very, very difficult. I had to use an upholstery needle and upholstery thread and hand sew this one. So, this is one of my original designs. And this is one that I show. I don't even use it because I don't want to mess it up. And oh, let me put the paper back in it. And I use it for show. Maybe at one point I'll donate it to like some museum or something to show what can be done. But I want to show you guys I'm still here. I'm still alive. I can still show you guys how to do it if you let me. Hold on. My tissue slipped off my lap. So, Miss Shirley, sis, all you got to do is take them fabrics you got out and mix them and match them. Okay, let's go back to this little tour, okay, of my lap. Of my lap. Thanks, you guys. So, Mike, some of you said you want me to keep on going. So, you see, these are not big pieces of fabric. I want you to see how I put them together. This was an outfit. There's a theater in the town that I live in, and they had Christmas plays, and the actors and actresses you can see the stamp of the African fabric on here. I unsewed, Michael said, called out. I unsewed it and washed it, and I put it aside so that I can make something out of it later on. This is a different fabric. You know the one that I told you that Growing with Hudson has, and I used this side in the quilt because this one was too busy for what I was using it for. But look at this. I don't know which way is upside down. Do you see the bird or the eagle on there? This is a gorgeous piece of fabric. Oh, there it is. There it is. More of the animal print. Oh, look at this. Now, this piece was a piece out of that was fussy cut. You see the bird on there? Now, he's just gorgeous. Although in the quilt I made, this is the side that was shown because it was too busy with the quilt I was making. Hershey, knock it off. More animal print. This is a tiger print. This is an animal print. This is, I guess, an animal print, like some kind of a snake. This was just some leaves. I'm actually using this for backing for a quilt that I'm doing over there, an art quilt, because I had a bunch of this, then I bought a bunch more. But you see these? The bag that I showed you, this one, this is some of the same fabric that's in the strap of this. That's the same fabric. Oh, I just love, love, love fabrics. No, Mr. Hershey. This is another animal print. So I just go around and I look for animal prints and then I mix them and match. Ow, 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 you're hurting my knee. Get down, Hershey. No, no. This isn't fussy cut, but this was kind of a Native American fabric that is a domestic fabric from the States. Animal print. I'll go fast over the ones that I think you've seen already, just so that I can show you. More caliente peppers. Mike. Now, see, these can be sewn together. A journal made, a man's a man's hobo bag. Mike, when I say a man, I'm just being funny because there is no such thing as a man bag, a female bag. It's just a bag. And y'all do what you want. So I'm looking for more pieces or parts of fabric that came from the same fabric that you may not have seen that particular part of it. Hey, Perfection Baking. Long time no see. We're talking about sewing. Last time I saw you, I think you told me you were going to sit on the floor and sew something. I know you're baking, but I don't know if you're sewing yet. But I'm here to call you out, make you a suit of peppers, Mike. Or how about that? Or at least a table runner. How about that? Or a casserole pad, something. There are so many different pepper patterns. I actually made a mini quilt out of some pepper fabrics, and it was called a kaleidoscope, where you take fabrics, you cut them in repeats. Repeats is every pattern that's printed, it like goes so many inches, and then the pattern repeats itself again, and then the pattern repeats itself again. Well, depending on where you choose to cut that and sew it back together, it's a kaleidoscope. And you know that kaleidoscopes sort of spin, but when I was working with it, it made me nauseous. It was like some type of optical illusion, or people that look at things that are moving and the lights and stuff. It made me nauseous. So I'll take it out for you one day, Mike. It's a little piece, and it's like it only has 9 blocks because I had to stop because it would make me nauseous every time I worked on it. So I'm gonna show you some more of these pieces that I cut. I love this. It was like in a neutral brown. And this one you could see where I had it folded and cut several layers at the same time. More fabric, more animal print, a different print critter. More animal print. Barb Brownlee, awesome live. Smash that like button, y'all. Help a sister out. Now, look at this. This is obviously an animal print, But look at this zebra. This one is almost fussy cut. I can tell that I wanted to show his whole face. You have a pepper fabric kind of like that one too? We got to sew this fabric up, you guys. And I like wearable art. I like usable art. I like art that's made into things that are usable. Of course, here's a tiger print. But here, for those of you who asked me about fussy cut, here's a piece that's fussy cut, cussy cut. I know you like that purple, Mike. So, like this one could be in the center of anything, a piece of clothing, the back, anything. Hershey, no. So, I'm waiting because I have more fabrics to show you that you haven't seen before ever, because I haven't opened this pack of fabric in 10 years. I actually had it, but I didn't know where I put it in here. That's a light tiger fabric. This is a really pretty fabric, and you've seen part of it down there. I forgot this is the front because it has the gold in it, but there's the back. This one was a very special fabric I got from that African, it was an Indian store that sold African fabrics in New York City, and I ordered it. Can you see this? Can you see the roses in here? I also had a piece of pink like this. I didn't have a lot of it. I think I only originally had a yard of that. Okay, here's one that's fussy cut. Another piece that looks like it was painted onto the fabric. And it's thick. It's thick, you guys. And the fabric is so thick. Let me show you. But this one, you can see the difference between the front and the back. Hershey, no. So it appears that I took and fussy cut this whole piece so that I could get several pieces of that. And then I have one piece in the middle, but I have like several pieces of this one. I don't think I've shown you, I know I didn't show you this one. So it's like somebody cooking food or something. Yeah, here, I'll show it this way. I'm trying to see. You can see the bowl down here. So, more fabric. Barb Brownlee, amazing fussy cut fabrics with these unique designs. So here's another piece of that blue. I wasn't going to let any of it get away. Can you see the wild turkey on the South American fabric? That's the front. That's the back. I actually used the back of this fabric, as I said. The green fabric, I told you, the African fabric that was special. You guys, you're not going to believe. I actually cut some of this up during the shutdown when I was making masks for people who didn't have masks. I made some of this for my pastor's wife. I made her a mask out of this for Sundays. Do you see the dove on there? Imagine cutting up this good fabric to make a mask, but it was washable. There are times you're going to need a mask. Another little piece of the blue. I don't have that many more to show you guys that are different, but I just wanted to show you what I do with 15 minutes a day. This would be overwhelming to do it all at one time. So I would iron a little piece, cut a little piece. Now there's some interesting ones coming out. This one. I remember this one. Isn't this one cute? It's sort of kind of fussy cut because you don't want to waste any of the fabric if you can help it, but you want to show certain parts of it. This one, you can see the lady sitting down, sort of fussy cut, but with the flowers in the center. Bling bling mask. Yes. Hi, T has fun. T, what did I see you doing? I see you doing so many things. But I enjoy your channel. T has fun. For those of you who have not done so, or if you'd like to do it again, don't forget to put exclamation mark GQUAT to highlight your channel so people can find you. Oh, this is the part I was trying to show you with the people standing there cooking in the community pot outside. Another piece of that fussy cut guy and lady. How are you doing? T likes to can, cook, and she rides a bike, you guys. She rides. It was Egyptian, Mike. It was Egyptian. And for those of you who don't know, some of the Egyptian long grain, long grain cotton are some of the finest in the world. Mike, I found my handmade knife. It might be out here. Oh, it is. I will show you guys before we close today. This is a custom handmade stainless steel knife. This, oh my gosh, this is a batik that's been hand washed, hand dyed, and it is amazing, amazing to touch. So now we're getting back to the plain fabrics, mostly. Either that or I put them on the bottom to mix and match with all the prints. So, did you guys like that little fabric show? Okay, don't go away because I also wanted to show you some that are ready when I was sewing some crossbody bags that are made of jean pockets. I'm putting this so I don't have to hold it. And for some of you guys that are out there feeding the squirrels or doing whatever you do, you put your phone in here, tie it, and you never have to take it off. Look at this one. Look at this jean pocket. And I put a piece of purple up here. I was going to keep it for myself, but then I didn't because I haven't kept any. And it has this African fabric in the back. That's an amazing thing. This one I liked because it was plain, and I do wear a lot of animal print. Like I would wear this. I would wear this with this kimono that I have on now if I were going out and I just wanted to take a couple dollars, a credit card, my phone, and my keys. I would take this, and I never have to take it off. It's not gonna and it's a crossbody bag. It was intentionally made to be big. You enjoyed all those fabric squares? Thank you. They'll be going into stuff. I like these pockets for some of you fellows who don't want fancy things to carry stuff in. You can't carry everything in your hand. You could put this on your bike. To get to bother your gardening with packs of seeds to go out in the garden. For those of you who are still doing your fall painting, you can put your phone in it. Some of you I see with your smartphone out there filming and stuff. You could put this in there, go harvest a few things. I see you holding the camera in one hand, clipping things. You could also have your bag on with some of your tools and whatnot and not have to run back and forth. And this was the last jean jack. Well, you guys voted one day and I had all this orange tiger fabric out and they would be great harvest bags, you guys. So These have been in this bag for 10 years. Those of you who were here Thursday, I just want to show you, we interviewed some fabric. We chose them out of the pack that I had for this Underground Railroad quilt. So I'm going to sew this around the edge, hush Hershey, and it will be ready. I'm making it for Black History Month next year. This box contains the pieces of one of my granddaughter's Christmas quilts. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is that at my age, I only keep a few of my favorite things. I downsized from like 4 acres, 4 buildings, all the animals, all the everything. And I only have a few of my favorite things, but don't cry for me, Argentina. I still got plenty. And the things I had at the North Carolina homestead were things for a house, a good size house. It wouldn't fit in here. Nothing in here would fit. Nothing from there would fit here. Maybe a few little sewing machines. There was a few antiques at my mom's house up on the 3rd floor where I took over that part at one time. But for those of you who are 2A or whatever, or don't believe in carrying things, I want to show you this handmade knife. One of my friends happened to be a lady. She was a registered arms dealer and pew dealer, but she made this knife for me. You see the handmade stitches where she sewed it around, but I'm going to show you the outside before I take it out. This is a one-of-a-kind knife. You could see her mark on the handle, and I don't know what kind of wood she carved this out. Can you see the thickness of the sides of this steel blade? That's how thick this knife is. Karen's Little Garden. Thank you. You could dress a deer with it. You could go hunting for anything that you wanted. You put it has the built-in belt holder. I've never used it. I've just always loved it. So now I'm going to open it away from my feet and hands, and I'm going to show you this amazing knife. This is real sterling silver. This is real sterling silver. Here, you can see the patina from where it has been stored. This was given to me in 1990. You see where the steel was driven through. Look at the thickness of this blade. Then it was honed down to a razor edge finish. Can you see this? I was going to sell it, but nobody would be willing to pay what it's worth. You can see on the tip where it was Gina and her crew like things like that. You see where it went from being this thick and then thin down to this. This is an amazing knife. And trying to see where it was signed, right up here, it's etched, the signature of the knife maker. So this is my favorite knife ever, and I actually kept it in my jewelry case because that's how I felt this was a piece of fine art, handmade. I used to watch this show, Forged in Steel, and they'd have these big burly guys and the blackjacks forging the steel. And to make steel, you take, what is it? To make stainless steel, you take iron and carbon and you beat them together. Mike said that's a thick thing. Yep. Us thick things like thick things. Pause, PIA. I like things that are well made. I love, love, love. I love this. And then to feel this, all the years of just touching it and and keeping it and admiring and then putting it up, the oils from my hands have gotten into it. And you see how it just fits this knife perfectly. I just love it. But Mike was talking about knives last time. So do you guys have any questions? Was this fun? I thought you would enjoy a tour of some of the stuff wacky old ladies do. Oh, you know what, you guys? I wanted to tell you, since my birthday's coming up and all over the world, they will be talking about beautiful workmanship, specially made knife for me. Thank you. Thank you. And they didn't give it to my husband. And by the way, I am a widow. They didn't give it to my husband, they gave it to me because ever since I was young, I used to collect buck knives, the little hand pocket knives. But you can't live in the country. You can't live on a farm and not have a knife. Who can open a bale of hay without a knife? Some of the feed sacks, whatever, whatever. Now, I can be city girl. I can be a cold-blooded, serious country girl too. I have pictures with me and my Stetson hat and my silver buckets and cowboy boots walking with my horses on the land. Yeah. So, do you have any Mother, I forgot to say hello, Mom. I love you. Ego amote. I love each and every one of you. I thank each of you for coming in. I do it. Why? Because I want to share some of my life. The day may come when I'm eating applesauce, as I told you, and I can't remember things that I did. I couldn't remember. I did not remember all of the fabrics I had already cut in there. That's okay, Janet. You had a visitor back again. That's okay. I always say I'm going to rewatch stuff. I never get around to it, but I enjoy what I do see. And Janet, I promise you, your box is going out next week. So I enjoy this, you guys. I enjoy this. I wish you were here so that I could fix you a plate of something to eat. So in January, don't forget, I will be doing pantry meals. I took a turkey out of the freezer today because I'm going to cook it this week and section it up. So, because it's been in there for a while, I want to cook it before I get my Thanksgiving turkeys. I will be cooking 2 for the family, some collard greens from a local farm. I'll be getting a couple of cases of them. And next year, I'll be doing my pantry meals, including some of my food my Yankee sister dropped off over here. Oh, she's so good to me. So now it's time to say goodbye to all our lovely friends. This is an I in American Sign Language. This is an L. This is a U. You're supposed to put your hands towards the person you're talking to. And thanks for coming. I love you all. Oh, thank you. T has fun. I love all, like Dad said, I love all y'all.